Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my 16-week update. So the most exciting thing I have to report is that I have finally stopped spotting. So I'm not even sure exactly when it happened, but it was sometime around 13 or 14 weeks. Like it just kind of like petered off one day and never came back. I feel like one thing I've noticed is my skin has been a little bit more sensitive lately. Kind of specifically like my arms and like my trunk area. I don't know why, but it'll just be like sometimes I'll just like absentmindedly like scratch or something like that, and like I just notice that like I'll kind of feel sore after. It's definitely not something that bothers me too much. I just have to be a little bit more gentle with myself. I definitely think I have been peeing a lot more lately. I'm not sure why exactly, because I read that you like pee a lot in the first trimester and the third trimester, but not necessarily in the second. So it's kind of strange. I feel like my symptoms always seem to be like a little bit off kilter from kind of like the normal timeline. I mean, maybe I've just been better about drinking water lately. I don't know. I feel like I still don't have a huge appetite, but now that I'm out of the first trimester, my appetite is starting to come back a little bit. I've started trying to eat smaller but more frequent meals to see if that'll kind of help, stabilize my energy and like help me gain weight a little bit, since I still have not gained any. I've talked to my midwives about it like 3 times and they just keep reassuring me like, everyone goes at their own pace, like it's totally fine, like you'll catch up your weight eventually. Um, and I'm definitely trying to just like trust in that and like trust in the process. But yeah, I have been trying to eat like still like very healthy. Um, I'm definitely still super committed to that, and it's definitely been hard. Like, I mean, I think this is more me being emotional than me like caring this much about it. But I mean, I feel like I have literally cried like 2 or 3 times this pregnancy, just of like just being frustrated of wanting to eat other things. Um, you know, I haven't really like indulged in any of my cravings, so to speak, other than like watermelon back at like 6 weeks or something. I've been trying to kind of like bulk up my meals, so just trying to like sneak in a little bit more protein, a little bit more fat, a little bit more carbs. But I feel like, I don't know, my body's just taking its sweet old time. A couple weeks ago, I was really craving fresh lemonade and what else? Sugar cookies, frosted sugar cookies specifically, which is just so specific. But I guess just because like the holidays are coming up, just like those like frosted like sugar cookies and like, you know, people decorate around Christmas time and stuff. Not the ones from the store with like the multicolored frosting on them. Those are gross in my opinion. But like a sugar cookie with like fresh frosting slathered on top of it just sounded so good. And lately I've really been craving New York style pizza, which is also very specific, and a fried bologna sandwich. I definitely don't plan to indulge in any of those. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could like make my own lemonade, but I know that's just not what I'm craving exactly. Like the amount of sugar I would need to put in it to like fulfill what I'm craving is just going to be too much. So something I'm not sure if I've talked about in my previous pregnancy updates is that I haven't really been eating a lot of condiments or sauces. And if you watched my previous videos, you know that I am a huge fan of condiments and sauces. I literally would have an entire fridge door full of them and then some. Like I would have sauce with like literally almost every single meal. And something that I realized was that like that could be a big part of like why I haven't gained any weight and like why I haven't lost some weight. Because I mean, when you're eating like ranch and honey mustard and mayo every single day, it's like I was probably getting 300 to 500 calories a day just from condiments. So cutting all that out when I got pregnant, it was like kind of like going on a diet, I guess. And it's like replacing 300 calories of mayo with 300 calories of chicken breast or broccoli just doesn't exactly like go one for one in terms of like my appetite, if that makes sense. It was somewhat of a conscious decision to cut back on condiments, but I think a lot of it just really happened organically. Like my body just like did not want that kind of food anymore. And I feel like in the past like week or so, like I've kind of, you know, gotten over that aversion a little bit. And I definitely can't go back to eating like the kind of condiments that I used to, but to have like a little bit more natural things. So lately I've been really into having like salsa or hummus, sour cream, guacamole, stuff like that. That's like really, you know, a lot more natural than like ranch dressing. I actually did buy ranch dressing. I forget the brand. I want to say it's Bold House. I'm not sure. But it's like a Greek yogurt based ranch dressing. And I feel like that one I actually can like somewhat handle. Even though I haven't gained any weight, I still feel like my stomach is a little bit bigger. Like my shape has changed a little bit. So I've really been loving maternity leggings lately. I think it's not that I need them, but they just are very comfy. Definitely not all of my normal shirts still fit me, but I still have a fair amount that do, just like things that were a little bit looser before are now like either kind of fitted or tight. I was really hoping to get my energy back as soon as the first trimester was over, but that definitely did not happen. I actually feel like I felt more tired in the past couple weeks than I did in the first trimester, and I'm not even 100% sure why exactly. I mean, I think part of it was just I wasn't having as good quality sleep as I was before. Like I was like having a lot of really vivid dreams again, so it was like a very like light level of sleep. I wasn't getting a lot of like super deep sleep when I was sleeping. Like I would just kind of have dreams all night long. And then when I would wake up in the middle of the night to pee, I would have a really hard time being able to fall back asleep. And you know, sometimes I'm like trying to fall back asleep and then I'm thirsty, and then I'm trying to fall back asleep and I'm hungry, and it's just like then I have to pee again, and it's a little rough. I mean, sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. My midwife recommended that I try drinking chamomile. I definitely would not just like try that if you're pregnant, because like I have read like in the first trimester you should avoid it, but my midwife said it was fine. And she said I could even make it like extra strong if I wanted with like 2 tea bags in it. But I've just been doing like 1 tea bag, just like steep it for a little bit and put some milk in it. I don't do it every night either, because I think like having too much of anything while you're pregnant isn't very good, especially just kind of like herbal things. But the first night I tried it, I slept for 10 hours, and I literally only woke up once to pee for, and like that was it, and I went right back to sleep. So I definitely think my body just like really needed some sleep. Um, and I feel like having a lot of sleep over the weekend like caught me up a little bit. And, you know, I was able to kind of start out this week feeling really good. Like Monday was the first day that I really felt kind of almost like myself again. Like I definitely wasn't like super consistent with my energy throughout the day, but like kind of the high points of my energy levels were a lot higher than I'd experienced before. So that was really nice, but that's definitely not continued on. Maybe if I'd done a little bit less on Monday, or maybe it's just kind of what I'm going to expect from here on out, but I feel like Tuesday was like another super tired day. I ended up like taking a nap in the middle of the day. And so I think that as time goes on, I'm probably going to have more and more like good energy days. That's definitely, it's definitely not 100%. And I mean, it probably will not be 100% until after I have the baby. I think not getting enough quality sleep was just really taking its toll on me. Like, not only was I just feeling really low energy throughout the day, but I also just felt like it was affecting my mood and affecting, like, kind of the way I felt physically overall. Like I felt like I was getting headaches more often, and I was just like very grumpy and very like anxious almost. And I think that's kind of another symptom that's kind of been kind of throughout the second trimester so far. Like I've just felt very anxious at times, and I've heard other women say that too. So I mean, I think it's just like a normal second trimester thing. I think just with the holidays coming up and knowing we're going to find out the gender of the baby soon, try to figure out everything we need to get for the baby. I feel like it can definitely be very overwhelming because I feel like I've been making a lot of lists, like to-do lists of things like we need for the baby. Like it's, I feel like I'm just the kind of person who runs at 120% of whatever energy I have. So like even on the days where I have more energy, it's just kind of like it's hard for me not to use that all up, so to speak. I am not 100% sure if I have felt the baby move yet or not. I feel like there have been a couple times, I mean, honestly, probably like 6 or 7 times at this point, over the past couple weeks that I've like thought that I felt the baby, but then I'm like, could be my imagination, could be gas, who knows? I think it's just incredibly, incredibly hard for me to kind of like commit to an opinion. Like I am just so afraid of being like, oh, I felt the baby move, and then like being wrong about that, and it like wasn't, and it. I mean, that sounds kind of silly, but I feel like every time I think I feel the baby move, I like just can't commit to being like, yeah, that was the baby, because I'm just like, I don't know. I've never felt the baby move before. I feel like everyone has a different like way of feeling the baby. Like even like the same women in like 2 different pregnancies, like the specific the specific feeling that you get when the baby moves can be so different, like in every woman in every pregnancy. It could be like a butterfly or a fish swimming or like your stomach grumbling, but it's not your stomach, it's the baby. Like it's, I don't know. The first time I thought I felt the baby move, I think I was a couple days shy of 14 weeks. And I definitely think that it's unlikely that it was the baby, but I don't know. I really don't know. Um, and I feel like every like couple days or so, I'll kind of have a moment where I like think I feel something. Um, and I don't really know. I think around like 15 and a half weeks was when I felt like a little more confident being like, okay, that's like probably the baby. Um, but it's never like super consistent. So like I'll feel it in like different areas of my stomach. I'll feel it like different times of day. So it's I don't know. I feel like I'm just not far enough along yet to like say for sure. But I feel like it's just making me a little bit anxious because I'm like I really want to feel the baby move just to know that they're doing okay in there. And I think most women don't feel it until like between like 18 and 22 weeks, something like that. But when I had my appointment around 15 weeks, my midwife was like, really pay attention in like the next 3 weeks and see like if you feel the baby move. And she kind of wanted to know like kind of specifically like what day I felt it, um, just as another way of like cross-referencing like the baby's due date and like that they're growing, I guess, at a certain rate. Um, like I guess maybe she would expect me to feel it by like X point, and if I don't, then maybe the baby's like a little bit smaller, or if I feel it earlier than that, maybe the baby's a little bit bigger. I feel like it's so hard for me to feel like I can give a definitive answer and be like that there was the baby. At my 15-week appointment, they took my blood, which was very terrifying for me, but actually went surprisingly okay. It definitely hurt a little bit, like kind of when they were doing it and then after. But it definitely was not as terrifying as I was anticipating. Like, I think part of the reason I was nervous just because it had been a long time since I got my blood drawn. And the other reason is because I was afraid that I was going to pass out. But I was actually totally fine. So that was a relief. And my midwife recommended at that appointment that I start taking vitamin D and probiotics because she just said, like, she hadn't actually like got my results back of like whether or not I'm low in vitamin D, but she was like, statistically speaking, like you probably are. So I've started taking that. I haven't started taking the probiotics yet. I do eat Greek yogurt every single day, which like has probiotics in it. Um, but yeah, I did order some probiotic like actual like capsule things because there was a specific brand that she wanted me to try. That's really just to help with preventing UTIs and preventing yeast infections. So I definitely do want to take that, but I am a little bit nervous of what it's going to do to me because, like, I know something else probiotics can help with is like if you're constipated, and I think it is actually like pretty common during pregnancy to be constipated. I'm not sure like at what point exactly, but like I do not have issues with that at all. Like I am more regular now than I was before getting pregnant. So I'm a little worried. So my app says today's baby is the size of an avocado, 4.61 inches, 3.5 ounces. My other app says the size of a dill pickle. And this is how big their little hand is compared to the size it'll be at birth. It's pretty crazy. I feel like it looks pretty big to me. And it also shows their foot. Comment down below if you want to guess the gender of the baby. We will be finding out around 18 weeks. I'm not sure exactly when we'll announce, but sometime in the month of December. So let me know what you think the baby is, and let me know if you have any name suggestions along with your guess. Um, I have definitely gone back and forth on what I think it is. First I thought it was a girl, then I thought it was a boy, now I think it's a girl again. Kevin thinks it's a girl, but I don't know. I'm almost like wanting to go back to saying it's a boy because I'm like, I don't know why. For some reason, I just have this feeling that like if I say it's gonna be a girl, it's gonna be a boy, and if I say it's gonna be a boy, I'm gonna be right. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna flip back again by the time we have the ultrasound. I just think like it's more likely that the baby is a boy, but like I don't really have any like scientific basis for that. Um, just kind of like on Kevin's side of the family, there's just like more boys. Like he doesn't have any sisters, his dad doesn't have any sisters. On my side of the family, it's definitely like very mixed. Like my dad had a lot of brothers, my mom had a lot of sisters. Um, so I mean, who knows? I definitely like maternal instinct, like feel like it's a girl, but I feel like the logical part of my brain is like it's probably a boy. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna go ahead and show you my little bump and go ahead and measure my stomach, see if I have grown at all since the last update. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I have. I know between 8 weeks and 13 weeks, I didn't grow at all in terms of like the number of inches around my stomach. And if anything, I feel like I maybe even got smaller because I have like lost a little bit of weight since my last update. So here is my 16-week bump. It's definitely pretty small. Let me know if you think, I feel like this shirt, the pattern kind of like both makes me look bigger and makes me look smaller at the same time. I think from the front it makes me look smaller, from the side it maybe makes me look a little bigger. Um, yeah, I feel like yesterday I felt kind of like a little bit bigger for the first time, but today I feel like I feel small again, so I don't know. The tape measure will tell. I am right around 37 still. I'm like a hair less than 37, which was pretty much what I was last update. So I guess my stomach size has not changed. But no, I guess like the baby's still growing normally and everything, because my midwife was like, oh yeah, my uterus, this, that, and the other. And I can tell when she was kind of like palpating me that like it definitely like felt different in there. I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to like it if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.